Good morning and welcome to a weekly review here for Apple and trade plan for next week. Only taking one recent trade here, and that was Thursday overnight in these 222.5 calls at 33 cents. Small little lotto. Looked like we had a nice little flag breakout here on the daily time frame above an inside day. Wanted to be in position in case that happened. Well, we didn't gap up, at least not high enough, and didn't break out of this wedge. So loss on that trade there. And now what I'm looking for next week is a potential bull flag breakout above that same level. If we get some bids and some volume above, first of all, 220.5 is going to start the break of the trend and then has to take out Friday's high, which would be just above 221. That would really get it moving. I have an initial target up here of around 225.5. We'll be looking for these 222.5 calls with about 2 weeks of time if that does trigger me into that trade. Now, interestingly, down below is a very, very key level. We're most likely going to back test this area here between the 21 EMA here at 216.77 and this green line down here around 215 and a half, 215.60 area. We'll see if some volume comes in there. Maybe implies that there's going to be some support, and that would be the best position to buy if this was going to be a bull flag to break out. That's where the best risk reward is, and the measured move would actually start from that level, which takes it approximately, we'll call it $22 higher to about 237-ish area if it does confirm. Now, one other thing I want to touch on here on the chart is this big wedge that has formed. It could potentially lead to a bearish reversal. Now, on the weekly time frame, we had an inside week the prior week, not last week, but the week before, and it did dip below. So it implies that there's a battle going on, especially considering this week closed as a doji right here. So price action couldn't go up, couldn't go down, couldn't sustain any price, and there's an equilibrium coming in. And we'll see which way we break from here. If this wedge does break, it's interesting that Thinkorswim has this little feature on here to show patterns. Just playing with it earlier, and this shows a potential drop from current prices down to potentially 192 to 177 area down here around the 200 SMA. If that does occur, I'm not looking to trade the short side. I will just sit on my hands as far as Apple goes and trade some other individual names and look to buy Apple once it comes down to a support or gives me a proper trigger to get into a trade. So if it breaks down, I'll let it slide. Just watch it and let it do its thing. If it wants to break out, I will buy for continuations higher. So that's my thoughts and trade plan for Apple going into next week. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Have a good weekend and good luck on Monday.